Hello and welcome to Talking Live. I'm Dr. Robi Ludwig right here in Starshot Studio in Times Square. We are so thrilled to have you this evening. We are talking to the publisher and creator of Metropolitan Magazine, Chase Becker, and also his partner in crime, Dr. Kelly Powers, who is a podiatric surgeon and also media personality. She also has been on the cover of Metropolitan Magazine. Before we get started, though, I want to mention HauteBid with Marvin Siegel. He has an amazing watch that's made out of airplane DNA. So that's every Wednesday at 9. We'll have a link for that. Welcome to the show.
Hello.
You know, we've been talking about this for a week, which is actually not a long time. We usually book our shows months in advance, but somehow,
But we know
Chase,
each other for a while.
You're special. I mean, there was an
What do you
opening.
mean by that?
You're special.
Like special
No. There was an opening. It's just your timing was
Timing
perfect.
is everything.
And we had the opportunity to talk, and what I really love about your story, the backstory, as a person who wrote Your Best Age Is Now, I'm talking to people all the time about them switching gears and really following their dreams. And you decided you had a successful entrepreneurial background as a real estate developer, and then you segue into this.
Yes.
Many businesses.
Many. One of them, I am a developer. I'm still a developer in New York City. I got into this business because it was my passion from the age of 19. So I was able to afford to get into the business. It's not something that anyone can get into. You have to have passion and a lot of money to start it. So I got into it.
Isn't that it?
Now
I don't. Only me.
No.
You spent it all.
It's all spent, but it's
the capital.
I see why we're friends. I know how to spend a lot of money too.
It's a wonderful thing. I mean, I enjoy it. I get to meet so many different people. I would never have able to have met those people in any other profession. You meet all these celebrities, these senators. I met the Cardinal. I met Leonardo DiCaprio and Sarah Jessica Parker and the photographers.
Look at the covers too. Tyler Banks.
Kelly.
Oh yeah, because I should be on that list.
She's amazing. I love Kelly. Kelly and I, when we got together, was it a little over a year ago?
We met in the Hamptons. Right?
Yeah.
At just like a random party in Southampton.
Well, you came to one of my parties.
I did.
And
it was his party.
It's funny because she was wearing a dress the same color as the step and repeat.
Yeah, it was the theme of the
identical
party.
color.
Was that deliberate?
No, not at all. Not at all. It was like a last second. No, I think I'll just wear this and throw the other one on the floor, and I ended up blending in with the background.
She blended in very well, very well. And I said, "Who's that blonde wearing that outfit?" I don't remember who she is. So we met. She's an amazing human being.
Yes,
thank you. I agree. I feel the same about him. Thank you.
Everybody seems to really love working with Chase. Everybody I've talked to is just a huge fan.
I would agree.
I'm a huge fan of yours, Dr. Kelly,
because
thank you. I've seen you, of course, on television. You talk about some very serious topics, like me. Fox will call you in or CNN will call you in when they want to understand something from a more medical perspective. How did you get into television?
It's such a bizarre story. I don't have a straight path, but then again, I feel like none of us do, as Chase was just explaining.
There is no straight path.
No, I think it makes it more interesting too to kind of zigzag.
Yeah.
Full circle, my first major in college was broadcast journalism, and my first job was actually an intern at CBS. I don't even know if you knew that. At CBS News on West 57th Street. I think I was probably just getting coffee, who knows? But I thought I was so cool, and I got to write it in the resume. And somehow I changed my major about 1,000 times and transferred schools, as we all did when we were 18 years old. Who knew what I wanted to do? Didn't know what I wanted to do. So then I went on the pre-med path and kept going with that. And then finally, after all the years, I think it was a total of 13. Yes, I'm like giving my age away. 13 plus. And then somehow full circle decided, let's look up that passion that I once had now that I've kind of have time to do it.
Yeah.
And I was also involved loosely in politics.
You have time to do it.
I don't. I was actually working today. I was in Scrubs literally like an hour ago. I'm running late.
I mean, every time I see you, Dr. Kelly, and you're always
either operating or
first of all, you see me sometimes. I had a friend say this, and she's like, "They're the two Robbies."
Oh,
it was true. It was true. The Robbie who would pick up her kids at school, which was bad, and then there's the TV Robbie, which has a lot of help. But you're always perfection. You're always running from surgery to a party, and just I don't know how you do it.
Thank you. I probably disagree, but I appreciate the compliment
No,
anytime.
I wouldn't say it if I didn't mean
She's
that.
intelligent.
Yeah.
She's a doctor.
Gosh, I'll come on the
Right.
show
She's
anytime.
beautiful.
Yes.
What
yes.
a combination.
Yes, and
Thank you.
Lucky gal you are.
well,
Thank
I also
She
met
is.
you at a party too. Actually,
Yes.
Chase. That's where
That's
all,
what we
all
told
your
me.
favorite blondes, right?
It's only a blonde thing.
It's only a blonde thing. No, I'm kidding.
No.
But that's where I got to really find out about the two of you working
We
together.
met on the wine line.
On the wine. Well, you and I met on the wine line.
We had the little
I
conversation.
said something cheeky to Chase. I don't remember what I said. You asked me something about the wine.
You didn't know who I was,
I didn't
and
know
we
who
were
you
talking.
was.
And
And I don't. He was interfering with me getting wine. I was like, "Why is that?"
Wait a
Wait a
minute.
minute.
I know. No,
Wow.
no.
Sorry.
I know. I don't remember, but it was a fun interchange, and it was a wonderful party. And I think it's because you invite a
It was
lot
a good
of
party,
great
yeah.
people. They're interesting people who are doing interesting things, and they
Yeah.
all have nice, warm personalities like you. And you set the tone, and that's
Great.
something that
Thank you.
only a boss or an owner can do. We're hearing interesting sounds in the background.
Well, you know what? Magazines are actually what whoever's involved, the
Yes.
publishers, is what you see through their eyes. So
Yeah.
that's what I show. I show people what what I see,
Right.
And I have a passion for that. So we're very meticulous about what goes in there and the type of people. And it's also there's a lot of psychology behind it as well.
As I'm talking too, I mean, it's a luxury magazine that focuses on Manhattan. It also has a very sophisticated feel, which is very in sync with you. And also, you're expanding this now to
Yes.
Florida.
Yeah, we're coming out in Boca, and actually we have an event coming up, a launch party on June 30th in Boca
I
at
was
a big
invited.
fancy place.
I don't know if I can go, but I'd like to say I was invited.
Yeah, it's great. It's great. We're going to
I don't know if I
Boca and Palm Beach, so it's good. And then we're going to go to Miami. We also have people that want us to come to Boston,
Mhm.
and then who knows where else?
Yeah. Well,
Vegas.
that's exciting.
So it's good to have it, in different areas. I enjoy doing it, So now I'm just expanding,
Right.
just like doing we have good staff, we have good people, they bring in their talent, so we combine it. If they don't have good talent, we get rid of them. If they're good talent. Kelly and I are doing a show as we were doing.
Yes.
Chase and Kelly, we would go to restaurants.
And just so you know, in the back we have a picture of Dr. Kelly Powers, who did a photo shoot. She was on the cover of a magazine.
Yes.
So if you wanted to find out about her background, which is
December,
also
right?
really interesting, gorgeous.
Was it December
gorgeous
issue?
Yeah,
cover.
December and January.
It's
Yeah.
December,
beautiful.
January
Yes,
issue.
the holiday.
Gorgeous.
At
Gorgeous.
This
Thank
is
you.
where I found out that the two of you were collaborating on a project.
We
So
like
the
to
Kelly
eat.
and Chase show.
I like to eat and entertain and go
You
out.
guys
So this was
foodies,
a no-brainer.
seriously?
Come on.
Yeah, we love good food. I love good food. She loves, who doesn't? And you know what? We get the opportunity to go into restaurants, the best restaurants in New York City, and not just the chefs coming out and giving us their best food, but we sit with the owner and he talks to us about his life and how he started, similar to what you do.
Yeah.
So we just enjoy that. We're also going to do
Yeah.
some other things like cosmetics. We'll go into cosmetics. Maybe we'll
That's
get her
great.
to do a couple of,
Yeah.
maybe two.
You're perfect. You don't need
You know,
anything.
Chase
Chase
said,
is
hey,
I
Yeah.
need to do it because I'm getting old, but I'm not doing it
Jason,
until I'm like
you
100.
Come on.
Copy me. You can copy me.
Hey, by the way, my dad is going to be 98 years old
Wow.
in February 3rd, 98.
Oh, my
And
mom's
he's
birthday,
still
February
gotta go-
2nd.
Really?
Oh, they're playing along. Oh.
Yeah, and I love my parents. I had good
That's
parents.
amazing.
They raised me the right way. And
That's
my
amazing.
mother, she passed away 5 years ago, but I love her. She's the sweetest person in the whole world. I just want to say that because you know what? We're all here because of the way we were up.
Yes,
upbringing
I
and
agree with
stuff,
that.
You have a great family yourself, and
Oh, thank you.
I see that.
I think Chase, the law of attraction, like breeds like. And I think that is why Chase is so successful. The magazine is taking off is because he's a positive person. And I think positive
Thank
people
you.
influence positive people. And, again,
Well,
the
you're
law of
helping
attraction.
people like yourself who work together, and we get involved in you. So we're gonna do a lot of great things
Thank you.
together.
I think
right?
When a
it's
fun
great.
guy like Chase asked me, hey,
Fun
you want
guy.
to do something that involves wine and food? I'm like, let me think about it.
So
Yes,
it came from
why not?
Chase. So how did Chase know that you like food and wine and
It's not really an arm twister.
and
but
how do you stay thin with eating
had-
all that
Oh,
food?
geez.
Well, you know what? You're not eating like mounds of it. You're eating
Yeah.
like quality food, and it's,
That's why you
it's
didn't
little
ask me
pieces
to
of
do
it.
I would eat the whole thing.
They usually take out their like the top 2 or 3 dishes and then pair it with a wine.
And we have
that's
little
kind
at
of
a time.
a
Yeah,
little bit,
exactly.
you're still in camera makeup.
You still get full though.
You
because
do.
You did
You
a lot
do.
of it. You know, I had the pleasure of interviewing some of the top restaurateurs and chefs. Thomas Keller from French Laundry, he was an amazing guy to interview. Andrew Zimmer, and, Bobby Flay, old people like that. Kelly Lee. So we work with the Food Network also. So we're able to just go out to any nice restaurant and just taste and let people know. And Kelly and I were doing this last year. Unfortunately, Kelly had a little illness that I don't know, maybe you want to talk about it or not. Is it okay?
You were very open and candid on
exactly.
social media, taking pictures. You suffered a heart attack, right?
So it wasn't a heart attack.
It wasn't a heart attack.
But it was involving my heart, yeah.
Oh, okay.
No, it's okay.
So explain what it was and what happened.
Sure. So the diagnosis is pericardial effusion and pericarditis, and then I subsequently went into multi-organ failure as well. So not that I want to give away my age on TV, but I'm late 30s and never had a history of any heart problems. Heart Health Awareness Month is coming up in February, so it's kind of a good time to create awareness, and thanks for letting us segue into this. They call me the $1 million patient at Columbia because to this day we still don't really know exactly what happened, but the workup entails they think a virus, a freak virus attacked my heart.
Wow.
And in the setting of stress and being immunocompromised, and I wasn't able to fight off this virus, and then it subsequently attacked my heart. I was actually misdiagnosed in April, and then from April to August I was going into heart failure, and my heart was enlarging. It actually became about approximately 500 cc's of fluid were in my heart.
Oh my gosh.
And I didn't know it. And there's just so many lessons to be learned here. The whole misdiagnosis and the doubting, and then just the heart kind of trying to. The condition was stopping me, and I'm still getting up every day, going to work, and feeling kind of almost ashamed for taking off and feeling sick. And I'm like, oh, I got to get to work. I can't take off. This isn't allowed in the profession. So a lot of lessons to be learned. I don't want to take up the entire hour talking about it, but. Once it was diagnosed, I was in the hospital for almost a month, and then had heart surgery in and out, and then I was readmitted again, and I had heart surgery where they drained the heart.
Wow, so they still don't know. They think it's a virus.
They think it's idiopathic, and what idiopathic means, they don't know, really. And then they thought it was everything from, they tested me for every virus, bacteria, parasite, every rheumatological, they thought I had lupus, oncology was on board, they thought I had cancer. So they thought I had ovarian cancer for a short time, and then all that was thankfully ruled out negative. And so when they have no answers, they most likely with this condition, it's viral. And they said that we may never know, and I just have to live with that. And that's another lesson too, living in the moment.
You're doing well now.
I'm on the mend. Could take, about a year. It depends. Everyone's a little different. I guess the hardest part would be not knowing where the cards lie, not knowing if I'm going to be better in a month or am I going to be better in 2 years. I don't know. But I'm feeling a ton better, and it's definitely being here and being around positive people, and
you're welcome. I got a hug and a kiss on TV. You're welcome to be here anytime. What made you decide to go so public with your experience? Because I follow you on social media, and I was weighing in there with the prayers when you asked. But I have to say, I don't know that I would be so bold as to share things at the moment. I don't know if that's because I'm a therapist and I tend to think from a more private construct.
I know.
Because, we have a very different...
She's a public person also. And a lot of people were worried about, where was she and all that. I was concerned as well as all her friends and family. So today's age of social media and everything like that, we're kind of all in our living rooms and in our hospitals, wherever we end up in a restaurant. So I mean, this is something that I understand that you would do something like that.
And I almost didn't.
I think it's great
with the idea of not doing it.
I just wonder what went into that decision.
Yeah, I wasn't going to, and I did for a few days.
I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. It's okay, Chase. I was toying with the idea of not doing it, but it was almost therapeutic for me to do it, and I wanted to make a point too. Here I am. People see me on TV with tons of makeup and teasing hair and eyelash extensions and everything else, and then here I am now, not only with no makeup, but also looking probably the worst I've ever looked and felt in my entire life.
You didn't look that bad, to tell you the truth. You look good.
I thought you still
without
looked
makeup.
Beautiful, actually.
It's the greatest show ever.
No, it's
coming on
true.
here. No. But I had the swollen face and the swollen abdomen, and I was in liver failure and splenomegaly, and I had cholecystitis, and it was crazy. But it was therapeutic for me to do it. And then I also, at the end of the day, I feel like, why did this all happen to me?
Yeah.
Maybe there's a reason. Maybe I'm supposed to go out and, again, like I mentioned before, February is Heart Health Awareness Month, so maybe it's my next step to go out there and create awareness. And I don't know.
I think you'd be a great and a beautiful spokesperson.
Thank
and it'd
you.
be nice also to highlight that.
Thank you.
The
book's still not written,
magazine.
So
Does that change?
You writing a book?
Maybe.
Yeah.
I'll say.
For sure.
Yeah, I'd like to. If I can ever
I think
sit down and
should.
do it.
Absolutely, because with a book, and this is what I found with my book, and you have your patients, and I have my patients. Of course, there are different kinds of patients.
Yeah.
You do foot surgery, and I do psychotherapy, but it's a way to reach more people.
Mm-hmm.
And so you can only reach so many patients because there are only so many hours in the day.
Yeah.
But when you write a book, then people benefit from your words in a way that you can't imagine.
You should do it.
You know, and
I write a book every month.
That's true. You do. And it's like a mini book. Absolutely. Absolutely. You know, another thing, when you're on television, Robbie, you know this, and Chase, you know this, you've got these like 2-minute skits, 2-minute little segments, and you got to get it all out there, and you're speaking so fast.
You do a great job, let me tell you.
In a book or magazine, you can actually express yourself and say everything that's on your mind in 300 pages. So. And you would be the one to talk to. Maybe I'll call you later.
Yeah.
Give me some pointers. So.
Yeah, no, I think it's great.
Well, listen, Kelly, you look amazing. I love your dress.
Thank you.
Can you stand up and show us this beautiful
this
dress that
velvety
you wear?
thing.
Look at this.
No, it's
amazing
actually.
to look. And this is the woman that was in the hospital.
I feel like it's one of those, what are these called? What are these called, Robbie?
Jumpsuit.
Jumpsuit.
Yeah,
that's
it's
right.
one and done, basically.
One and done.
Can you jump?
It was and it was the quickest thing I could get into after leaving the scrubs on about 2 hours ago.
Right?
So.
It's all about comfort.
Yes.
So now that you're feeling better, thank God, and you're doing well and back on your feet. The two of you are now doing the Kelly and Chase show again. So you're going out.
The Chase and Kelly.
Yes. Oh, Chase and Kelly.
We like the way it sounded better. Chase and
otherwise, we would have done the Kelly and Chase because Chase is it's Kelly. Chase and Kelly.
I like it. We agree.
She likes the Chase and Kelly.
I'm renaming, but you can do whatever you want.
You can do whatever you want. That's fine. I'm good with that.
So you guys are back now. You're back.
We're back and we're better than ever.
Okay, and so tonight's a launch, right, for you?
Yeah, we're gonna go to another restaurant.
Relaunch,
A relaunch.
Yeah.
And we're gonna eat. We're gonna eat like the best Greek food.
And you tape it, and you're promoting.
Yeah.
And so there are businesses.
We have my friend Benno here. He just came down from New Jersey.
That's great.
Hi. Germany.
Hi. Nice to
From
have
Germany,
you.
and come say hello really quickly, and then you can get out.
Awesome. Hi. So nice to meet you.
Benno, good to see you. I didn't see you for a while, buddy. How are you? Good to see you. You know.
Of course, I remember him.
Sorry, we're.
No, that's okay. Listen, can you tell that?
All right, get out of here.
Can you tell that Chase had his own show also, and you were a talk show host?
What, am I taking over for a little bit? I'm
it's
sorry.
Good. It's fine. It's fine. Hey, listen, we're all friends here. It's organic. That's the way it works. I was asking you, do you think about food differently now that you've had your health concern when you go out now?
Yeah, this is interesting, and I feel that we could maybe, Chase, take this into another direction as well. Go out, taste the great food, taste the great wines, and then have maybe a subsection of, if you have some inflammatory condition. So at the end of the day, my condition is an inflammatory
issue. We can actually talk about that.
Yeah, and there's so many great foods that taste great, not compromising quality and not compromising taste, most importantly. But, you've got the gingers and the turmeric and all those things that people are becoming more aware of now. And this is not just with my condition, someone with MS or somebody with what other inflammatory diseases, anyone even going through chemotherapy or lupus, there's so many. GI problems, Crohn's, all that stuff. So,
I personally like that, and here's where I'm weighing in.
Yeah.
I like news you can use. So how great to go into a luxury restaurant.
We're going to Narai, the Greek restaurant tonight.
And then
it's
to
amazing.
Taste the food, interview the interesting people, and then have the takeaway about what's healthy.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, we all want to be healthy and experience luxury.
Yeah.
Right? In a way that works in our life.
And
that's where you come in.
If we can, we will. Yes.
Right.
And I think you hit it right on the head with that. Yeah. Definitely. And you know what? It's quality. It's not quantity.
Right.
I don't think people should be shoving food in their mouth because they're hungry. If you go and eat something, if you take a small bites of something that's really tasty, I think you'll be satisfied. You don't have to shove it in. And you know what? I put it this way. God gave us this vehicle, I call it, just like your car. If you destroy it, if you get a flat tire and you don't fix it, you're not going anywhere. If you burn your motor out, you're not going anywhere.
Sure.
If you destroy your arm, your liver, your kidney, you're going to be disabled. You won't be able to get around. So take care of your vehicle, eat right,
Right.
I know it's difficult because people like to shove food in their mouth and they're hungry and they do that. But if they can control it a little bit, and and I see a lot of these shows with obese people, and I feel real sad for them because it's emotional as well as physical.
Yeah. And especially too with a lot of the people who read your magazine, you get to a certain point in life where you really want to take care of yourself and you have to be deliberate about it. And you know this too.
And there's so
Dr.
many
Kelly.
things we love, luxury and travel.
Right.
Having this, I can't even get on an airplane. I'm waiting for clearance to get back on an airplane.
Wow. You can.
Yeah, for my heart and because of the immunocompromised state. So it makes, it is eye-opening. It makes me appreciate things like having a fantastic sip of great red wine. Before, maybe I would have 2 or 3 at the end of a Saturday night. But now, since I can only have one, have the best wine that pairs perfectly with that steak and then, really enjoy it, savor it.
Well, we look forward to watching the show. And where can people find you? Is it on Facebook, on your Facebook page? Is it on YouTube?
Why don't you come over here and tell them for a second?
Come
over here.
Come on in.
Chase is my co-host.
Melissa Clark.
Aw, Melissa's a fabulous
Melissa,
writer, by the way.
you tell them where they can find the show, the Chase and Kelly show.
So you can go on Instagram, Metro Styles NYC. And that we do behind the scenes, and we're going to actually start a YouTube. We have our social media gal.
Nancy, just come in real quick, Nancy.
And we'll
Come on in,
have
Nancy.
I'm sorry, I'm taking control of your show.
But before you take over, I have to do a quick 5 with you, so you're not getting away that easy.
Okay, all right, good.
And we'll make sure to have a link so everybody can see all the great photos that you've been taking on the show. Thank you guys for the latest info. And we do something called the quick 5 because, after all, I am a therapist, and we want to show the real personalities.
I did not know this was part of the agreement.
Yes. Okay.
You go first.
no.
Okay,
All
fine.
right.
No, I don't care.
Chase and Kelly. You should
Well,
go first.
I don't care. Go ahead.
Okay.
Maybe you
What
should go
do you
first.
do in your spare time, Chase?
Oh, I love spare time.
What do you do?
I
with
love it. What do I do?
Yeah.
I do this. I lay down and I look at the ceiling.
Okay.
And that's
All
it.
right.
There you go. Now you
And
know.
then,
If
and
you
then I
were
get
wondering-
creative.
Yes.
And people should do that, actually.
Yeah.
Because when you do that, your brain, and I told someone else to do this, you had a lot of issues. It's kind of like meditating. You
Yeah, I
look
was
at the
gonna say
ceiling,
meditating.
you
Sounds
focus
like it.
on something. That's not what I do in my spare time, but I think it's a good idea. I like motorcycles. I'm a fiend. I used to race cars. I used to race Porsches when I was younger. When you get into this business, you have a lot of money to spend, you spare, so you get into a couple of fun games. I'm boating, motorcycles. I have motorcycle race cars, skiing.
So big
I
boy
love all that
toys.
stuff.
Big boy toys.
That's right.
How about you, Dr. Kelly?
So I call myself the grandma now because of this, right? Debbie Downer. But because I was not able to drink or travel, so what did I do? I was reading a lot more, which is good
Reading.
because I feel like I wasn't
should have said
reading.
reading.
I was reading more and drinking a lot of tea.
Okay, that's
But
good.
no. But what I really like to do
Love
is,
tea.
I was a big soul cycle person. I loved cycling. And
Yeah.
was doing
We
that.
go together. Do you live in the
I
city?
mean, I get to wait now, unfortunately,
Okay.
but we'll get there soon.
Okay.
But yeah, I do live in the city, and I
Okay,
was doing
great.
bike marathons too out in
Wow.
California for diabetes research and all that. So I used to love doing that. It was like my happy place.
All right.
Soul
Well,
cycle.
you'll get back there.
Yeah.
Now, what makes you bored?
Everyone.
Everyone. There you go. Should I take that personally?
I'm bored right now. No, I'm just kidding.
Should I take that personally?
I'm kidding.
That's okay. That's okay. I could go to therapy after
I
the
want
show.
the therapeutic
How
analysis
How about
after
you?
this. That's what I want.
You answer that question. Make sure it's the same
Can
answer.
I feel like it's the same answer. I'm like reading and tea make me bored.
Okay, you can say that.
No, I'm not bored. Just listen. What makes you a person bored? I think the same thing. I always like to be
Repetition.
in a different place.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
never
Yeah,
like
I
to be
agree
in the
with that.
same place.
You
I'm
have-
so
do you-
bored of
do you
everything.
know-
That's why I said
Do
everything.
you know the word spilkus?
Hocus pocus?
No, it's the Yiddish word for always like having ants in your pants and like always
Yes.
need to move
Yeah.
around.
I
That's
gotta
you,
keep
Chase.
moving. I
Yeah, yeah, he's got spilkus. Anyway,
What
Name-
did you wait? Did you answer?
I kind of answered.
yeah, she said, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Name 3 things in nature you find the most beautiful.
My children. Oh, is that nature?
Yeah.
Okay.
that's nature.
My children. I like flowers.
Okay.
I've been growing flowers recently. I have a farm.
Oh, that's nice.
Nice.
3 things
Yeah.
in nature, like you're talking about, like in the wilderness or
Anywhere
family
you want.
or
Anywhere you want.
in nature. I don't know. The bees. I like the bees.
All right. Okay.
Bees
Dr.
are important.
Kelly?
Okay.
They are important.
So I was able to, I went out to Utah and Arizona recently, like I think it was about a year ago. And for the first time, I saw the Grand Canyon and then Antelope Cavern, which is totally highly underrated. Amazing place. I don't know if you've been there. Basically, if you've seen a screensaver on like a desktop with the swirls, that's Antelope Cavern. Amazing. So those two are definitely on my list. I'm also hopefully, I booked it in advance, but hot air balloon ride in Napa Valley.
Oh, nice.
So I went to college.
Daring.
Yeah, I don't know how I'm gonna feel about it.
That's no control at all. That's like up in the air.
The big
no
flame
control.
there by your head. I'm like, don't put any hairspray. I don't know. I'm scared.
Yes.
But it is booked for my boyfriend and I, and
good.
hopefully by the end of the year, go
That's
out
fun.
to Napa. I went to college in California, Northern California. So the whole Napa, the trellises, I find them gorgeous.
Ooh.
You know, all the grapevines.
That
It's
sounds
just a
like
beautiful.
an important question might be asked up there.
Yeah,
Maybe.
sooner.
Nice.
Maybe sooner. Maybe sooner. We'll cross fingers. You'll let us
he's
know.
probably watching. Oh God.
What's the hardest thing you've ever had to do? You
I
go
know
first.
mine.
I know yours.
You go
ahead.
first. Go ahead.
Yeah, you know it's funny. So when I was in the hospital after the surgery, I had a tube in my heart. Melissa actually came to visit me, and it was hanging, and she was such a sweetheart. And it was hanging there, and it was on all sorts of medications and bizarre. And people are like, "Oh, you're so brave." Honestly, I don't feel like I was brave in the hospital. I felt like I didn't even know what the heck was going on. I feel bad for everybody around me. Melissa, my parents, my boyfriends, they had to go through all this, so I give them credit. But the brave part or the hardest thing is when I got home. When I got home and the noise stopped and I was just there with my thoughts. I should probably talk to you with the thoughts, and then the worry of, I remember distinctly having the thought, if I go to sleep tonight, am I gonna wake up? What if something crazy happens? But recognizing the irrational fears versus real fears, And so this is kind of the hardest, this challenge, this last 6 months have been the hardest of my life, for sure.
It's so interesting that you say that too, in the way that you did. It was after you were home. That's what people say, when you're home and nobody's there to distract you.
Right.
And you're just with yourself, which can be the hardest moment.
Yes.
Tell me something you would happily do again. Maybe start your magazine?
Yeah.
I love children, so I don't know if I would have another child, but I wouldn't be opposed to it.
Okay. Oh, you're looking to have
No,
another child.
I'm not.
Okay.
He's like,
I just wanted
No,
to
but
ask.
I want to go back to the question that
The
she
hardest
answered.
thing. Yeah.
Because it just came to me when my mother was diagnosed with dementia, and when she was, when you have dementia, you kind of slip away, because you don't do anything, become recluse, and your organs start to shut down. And the hardest thing was for me, because it was my dad and me going all the time back and forth. The hardest thing was, we're oblivious to where she was headed. We were like, it was inevitable. My dad also, they're married for over 60 or 70 years. I don't know how many. My dad's 98. It was the hardest decision was to say, because she was laying there in pain, was to say, to give her that final shot to, let her. She had, the poor thing, took her last breath.
Yeah.
So that was the hardest thing, probably,
that's really tough.
to make that kind of decision. That's a tough thing, and I love her so much.
Thank you for sharing that. That's really powerful.
Thank you for asking.
Something you would happily do again?
Something I would do again. We should all live by the whole no regrets. So maybe everything. How's that?
Same
How's that
with
for
me.
you?
I feel that way too.
I do everything
You
all
learn
the
from the
time.
mistakes. I've made mistakes, but we learn from them.
It's important to say yes to life.
Yes, yeah.
And to learn from our experiences and move forward. It has been an absolute pleasure. We will have a link for everyone to find Metropolitan Magazine. And you're always looking for new restaurants and people in New York City, luxury people to interview.
If somebody has a restaurant that wants Kelly and I to come and eat,
We'll
we'll eat. We won't charge you that much money to eat your food, right? Kelly?
Exactly.
I'm so glad that you were a part of the show and
Yeah.
you
Thank you for
came
having us
today.
on.
Thank you. And don't
been
forget
great.
about HauteBid also, which is every Wednesday night at 9 to see the latest, hottest, coolest watch that you can't get anywhere else.
Can I bid on that watch? By the way?
Yes, you can bid on it. Absolutely. So hopefully Chase will bid on it and
I want
hopefully
to
you'll
bid
win
on it.
it.
I like that watch.
Yeah.
It's very
Yeah,
nice, by
very
the way.
cool.
Can I see it? Can I see it?
Terrific.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm gonna come over there and
We'll show you
I'm gonna
after-
bid on it.
We'll show you after the show.
What do you need, a phone? bid on?
Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you in 2 weeks on Talking Live.